Hello and welcome back to another video. I hope all is well. So today we're gonna be doing a outdated family home. Uh and my plan for the house, well, first I got the inspiration off of Pinterest. I found like a really um very like what I would call like standard American suburban home plan. It looked a bit vintage. Um, I'll put it up on the screen, like right about now, I guess. And so that you can see it. It obviously I got inspiration from it, but it's not 100%. Like a copy of it because I added a bit more to the house, kind of changed the layout to fit the family of five that I had in mind. But yeah, so this house is for a family of five, two parents, and then three kids, a toddler, a child, and a teenager. Um, and it's a pretty good size home. This is kind of similar, really similar to like the original floor plan, what I was doing right there. But I decided to add a back part to make it bigger because I wanted this area over here to be a rec room, the area that I'm putting the windows on right now. I wanted that to be a rec room, and so I could get enough space. I kind of add a bump out in the back so that there can be a room back there, and then I can use this area downstairs as a room as opposed to a bedroom. Um, and yeah, so I got this off of Pinterest. It's from, I believe, a catalog. It looks like it is like from maybe the 70s, I think. I'm not too sure. But I get a lot of inspiration off of like vintage catalog homes or like vintage house plans. Like I'll just look up on Pinterest like vintage house plan or um like old um old style house and then see what pops up because I really like a lot of the searches that show up link directly to like archives and stuff like that. I've noticed because a lot of the ones that I've seen, they link directly to like archive.org where they've like uploaded all of these vintage catalogs, which is really cool. So if you're ever like in a stump, you can't really figure out what you want to do, like what type of house you want to make, it's always good to like um go on the internet and just look up stuff just to like get an idea of what you want to build. And so this is the bump out that I was talking about. I felt like the house was gonna be kind of small and the backyard was gonna be really huge. So I decided to do this bump out where I'd put the kitchen and then on the top floor it'd be a bedroom. So I wouldn't have to put a bedroom um, downstairs because I did want this to be a four-bedroom home. And so upstairs I was like, oh, like it's either I have like four cramped bedrooms, I have to put one in the rec room, but with the addition of the bump out, it like made it easier because there was so much more space. Like I was able to fit two bathrooms, four bedrooms upstairs. Like it turned out great. And so going on into the actual like building or furnishing because I didn't show the landscaping and like decorating the outside. But I basically just put a pool back there, a picnic table, and I put like a grill, and then for landscaping I just did like very like what I think I don't know what it would be called, organized landscaping, where you kind of it has its little landscaping within like boundaries. So it's not like very wild and loose landscaping. It's I imagine like a they had they dedicated time to the landscaping. They kind of like planted everything themselves. Um but yeah. So the original floor plan is obviously I didn't keep it because it's kind of like different in terms of like the dining room is where the kitchen would have been, and I think like the entryway is in a different orientation, but yeah, I just changed it up so it could fit the upstairs that I had planned. But I think it turned out well. I think it turned out really good. And so the theme that I was going for when I say like outdated family home, I was thinking of in particular, I was thinking of like a 2000s type home, maybe. Um, in my mind, this is a couple that bought this house when their first child was a baby, so a long time ago. And they bought it. It was a newly in that time when they bought it. Like I imagine if we're being like kind of realistic or kind of applying it to the real world, I imagine like they bought this house in the early 2000s, and it was renovated then. Like it had gotten renovated in the early 2000s, so it it got renovated with trends in the early 2000s, but and it hasn't been renovated since, and so now it would be considered kind of outdated, because I imagine like there's like a lot of beige, a lot of oak, like that warm oak, um uh like the furniture is a bit more outdated, it's not as modern, the appliances aren't as modern is what I imagined when I said outdated family home. I was thinking I could also do like a thing where I renovate homes like that I've made to look kind of outdated. I could like renovate them, but I don't know, that's like getting ahead of myself. But yeah, so that was my plan. I'm just in here cluttering the kitchen. I thought the kitchen turned out really well. It's like a really big kitchen. I was able to fit like so much in there, and I think um it looks really realistic. I never use this tile, this floor, this matching like floor and wall tile, like ever, because I don't really like it. I don't really like the colors. But I thought this went like perfect, um, in this house. And then um, I add this like what's it called? I think like whiteboard, yeah. For the teen, because obviously they're gonna set a curfew, and then I think I also add like a baby chair. Here I am adding the baby chair, and then these light switches I add them like around. So when I add them all around, when I filmed this, it was like a long time ago. I don't even know. I can't even tell you like when exactly, but just right around the time I think that they added the light switches in was when I built this. So I think more than a year ago, honestly, because I cannot remember like what I did in this house. Um, and yeah, so I did this like such a long time ago. But I decided to just upload it because why not? I really like the house and I have the footage, so I was like, I'll just make it into a video. But yeah, I don't ever use those light switches now, currently, but I should, because they obviously do add a lot of realism, but I always forget to use them. But going into the living room, we have, well, it's more like a sitting room. Well, I guess it's a living room slash sitting room. I wanted this to be like an area for the guest when your guests come in and you don't want them to look at the rest of the house because maybe the rest of the house is like messy. You kind of usher them into like a room. You're like, sit, sit, sit. And so I imagine this is the sitting room. I don't know if sitting rooms are like a thing anymore. Well, of course, they are, right? But are they as popular as they used to be? Because I remember a long time ago, and especially in couples with older homes, or wait, no, especially with older couples is what I meant. Um, I every time I'm in an older couple's house, there's always like a sitting room and a formal dining room. Um, but when I go to like a younger couple's house, there isn't always, and at times there's like maybe like a sitting room, but I never really see like a formal dining room. I feel like they were kind of they're kind of disappearing, which isn't like a bad or good thing, like it's nothing like that, but yeah, I think like people are now using their dining rooms for like maybe things that they would, you know I guess they're turning them into rooms that are going to be used more often, because realistically like a formal dining room isn't really used that often, um unless that's like you do formal dinners a lot, or like Sunday dinners, stuff like that. Because I know my family, well, we used our formal dining room a lot, but we never had like, it was like a dining room, but it wasn't like a, well, no, I think it was just a dining room. I don't know. It wasn't like very formal because it wasn't very big. The table wasn't really big. We didn't have like a crazy table either. It was like a regular like circular table. But yeah, going into the actual build, I wanted this to be like a sitting room. And I use a lot of like mix and matching of wood tones. I use like these brown couches because from what I remember in the early 2000s, like brown couches were like very, very popular. I use these kind of like beigey grandma style curtains. And then I'm gonna use like blue as like an accent. I kind of use like blue also in the dining room. So I obviously chose blue as the accent color that I'm gonna use. And then in the dining room, I didn't do too much because, like I said, I imagine it's like a formal dining room. Even though now that I think about it, I think they use it a lot because there isn't really like any other table in the house. Like there's not a table in the kitchen, so they obviously get a lot of use out of it. But I add the baby chair, and then I also add a like I think cupboard is what I'd call it, like a cupboard. This cabinet, well, I just add like a cabinet for what I imagine is like their wedding china, because I imagine obviously this is like a couple that maybe got married like in the 90s, or maybe even the late 80s. But so I add a cabinet for the china, and then I add like a chair because realistically, when you have like a baby chair, you wouldn't throw away the chair, you just like put it to the side. So I did that, and then I think I just put like a side table, like a buffet table with some clutter on it, maybe like a painting. Um, I'm not sure. I might put down like a ottoman, I think. Um, just because I imagine, uh before you go outside, you're gonna like put on your shoes and you just sit down and sit on that ottoman and put down your shoes. And here I am just putting all the light switches, which I don't do. It's so funny that I totally forgot that they exist. And then here I'm putting a carpet with obviously the blue accent color. And I really liked how this build turned out. I really didn't know, like, I wanted it to look outdated, but I didn't know like how best to do that. Um, because like obviously I didn't want it to be like super outdated, like, or I didn't want like anything to look like dirty. Like I don't know, because like I guess sometimes you like you can equate outdated to things that are like dirty and like broken and stuff like that. But I just wanted to look like an older house from like an older era. Um, but it's well taken care of. But they might decide to like renovate it. Um, and I've noticed that I'm not really like cluttering up things a lot, and because this was made like a year ago, I was like kind of bad at cluttering. I noticed, I wasn't very good at it for some reason. I'm kind of like lazy. I'm not gonna lie. I think I was kind of lazy with the clutter. I think I've gotten better, but I was kind of lazy is what I'm seeing. I'm just like placing things into the slots and not really using like move objects. But I've gotten better. This was a year ago. I've gotten better and a lot more detailed. But yeah, so this is the rec room that I'm doing, for the children. And imagine like a lot of the stuff in the rec room is also either like hand-me-down stuff or stuff that they've just had for like ever, for as long as they've had their teenager. And the first child, this is like all the stuff that they've had for a long time. And then I'm just again doing like the mixing of the wood tones, and then I put this desk in here to make it a little office. I don't really particularly have like an idea of what the parents do. I just put this office in here you know, because there needed to be like a family computer. But I imagine, thinking about it, possibly one of them can be like a teacher, or maybe like a secretary, some type of, I think, like office job. And then the other one I imagine could be like a civil engineer, possibly, because in my game I actually have a family playing here, and the one of the parents is a civil engineer, and then the other parent is a stay-at-home parent, because they have like 3 kids and they're all babies. So yeah, one of them is a stay-at-home parent, and then they have like 2 dogs, which I don't know if I end up putting dog bowls here. But yeah, I don't think I do, but in my game I do have dogs in this family. But you could always add like a dog bowl if you have cats and dogs. There's like really enough space to put down a bed somewhere. And then for this bathroom, I didn't really decorate it either. It's kind of just like a generic bathroom. It's got like the generic shower, generic toilet, generic sink. Because, you know, it's like the downstairs bathroom, it's the guest bathroom. It's not too like decorated. It's very simple. I imagine this is probably like the bathroom that guests use, and also if you have like an animal or like a pet, this is where you would give them a bath. But finally we're upstairs. I feel like it's been going on forever. But so this is the upstairs. I decided to bring that wood paneling upstairs because you know, I think it does kind of give like that old timey, maybe not old timey, but like that outdated look. And then all the rooms upstairs have carpet, because, you know, carpet is like something. I also think carpet, I don't know, I think carpet's like still really popular. But I think people like definitely gravitate towards like wood flooring and tile flooring over carpet, at least from what I've seen on like TikTok and stuff. Like every time I see like a Reno, people are always ripping out their carpets, which I get. Not everyone, you know, carpet like attracts or kind of like contains a lot of dust. And then especially if, you know, like someone's lived in that house for 30 years and then you like buy the house, you definitely are like, you know, you want to get rid of the carpet, I guess, because it's just been I don't know, I guess it's just been in the house for so long and it's had so many like feet and people on it. Um, but um, this is the teenagers' room. I didn't really have like anything in particular. I imagine they liked gaming, so I gave them like a streaming computer. Um, and then I just do like a bunch of clutter. I imagine they're into music, so I put that poster over there, and then I also am gonna put like those painted vinyls above his bed. So, and imagine he likes blue and red. He likes gaming, music, stuff like that. That's really just all I had in mind. Um, but I decided to not make this teenager's bedroom like messy. I imagine they're not really like a messy family. Imagine they, you know, they clean often, you know, everyone picks up after themselves. Because I know in the last one I kind of made like the teenage boys room messy. This one I imagine they're like this teenager's like a lot more organized. Or maybe I'm gonna add color, I don't know. I can't remember. But I think I don't. I think this room is gonna be a lot more clean. And then going on into the toddlers. Ooh, I like lagged there for a bit, or maybe I don't know. But yeah, going into the toddler's bedroom, I kind of made this one. I made it simple because, you know, this is a toddler. All they really like need in their rooms is like somewhere to put clothes, toys, and a bed. So I didn't spend too much time in here. I just put down like this, I think it's like a play tent. This play tent, the bed, the little cubbies, a chair, bookshelf, and then I just put in this like Lego table, I think. Lego table and a couple toys around, and that is basically all for the toddler's bedroom. And then in this other bedroom, this bedroom is for the middle child, and this one I wanted to be like really girly and pink. I imagine this child is probably into like ballet and drawing. I think I put in a desk. I was gonna put in this desk, but I figured this is a child and I wanted to kind of have like a dollhouse in here, and it felt really cramped, and because it's a child I don't think they need that big of a desk, because I wasn't gonna put a computer in here, because again I imagine this child is probably like around the ages of like 8 or 9, so they don't really need a computer, and so I just put in this really small table, and it's so cute. The cherry blossom swatch is so cute. And I put this in both of, I put it in the teenager's bedroom and also the child's bedroom, just to like, so they can keep up with their activities, because imagine, you know, this is like a very active family. They do a lot of after school activities and stuff like that. And then I just put in some clutter, and then over here I think I'm gonna put in like a mat, because I imagine, you know, this child likes to do a lot of arts and crafts. And I think I put in a tapestry, I think is what they're called. I'm not really sure. I think this cute little tapestry, very cute. And then in the living room, I don't really clutter up the living room at all because it is kind of small. It's 2 squares wide, but I think I just put in this carpet, and then that little painting. Carpet on carpet is like so funny. I see it done by older people more. Like I don't really see like younger people put carpet on carpet. That's not like really a thing. Or sometimes it is. I mean, I'm generalizing, but every young, like when I'm in young couples' homes, you know, they don't really put like a carpet on a carpet because they're like, well, there's already carpet. But older people, like almost every house that I've been to, that has like, that's owned by like an older couple, they always have like carpet on carpet, and I like it. I think it's cute. But yeah, it's just something that I've noticed. But so in here I decided to go in with that cats and dogs, but I love this bed so much. I love the quilt. I love the quilt so much. It is so cute. And I decided to go with like I think these tables, these like nightstands, are from Cottage Living. And then I just put in a couch in here, a mirror, and then I decided to get like those 2 Parenthood chest of drawers and just make them like one big one, I imagine. But so I don't clutter up this like room too much. I feel like where the couches, I could have put in like more storage to make it look more realistic, but you know, I figured, you know, maybe they don't have like a lot of clothes. Maybe they're like a couple that isn't too big into having like a lot of clothes. Because I know I'm kind of like that. Like I have a good amount. I have a lot of clothes in like storage and stuff like that, like tucked away. But I'm not too big on having like a lot of clothes, just because like doing laundry is a nightmare when you have a lot of clothes. It used to be, you know, it's a nightmare now still, but when I used to have like a lot of clothes in my closet, it was terrible. Um, but I just put, see, this is like the first time I think I'm using like move objects and like the alt key in this whole build maybe, which is so crazy. But yeah, that's all that's all the rooms completed. And now I'm just gonna do the bathrooms. Bathrooms are like pretty simple. This is kind of like a basic replica of the one downstairs, just with like a different like sink. And this one, I noticed I do not clutter it up. I don't know why. I just like blanked out, and I think like, I didn't put any clutter in here. When you download it, it will have clutter. Because I'm gonna go in like now and go clutter it up, because I was watching it and I was like, oh my god, I didn't put any clutter in there. Like this is crazy. Like 3 kids use this bathroom. Like this is obviously gonna have clutter. But of course, I did this like a year ago, and I don't know what I was thinking. But this bathroom is basically like almost the same, except for the like orientation of the sinks are different. But yeah, we're nearing the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.